What happens when Hollywood's biggest stars willingly sit in the hot seat, knowing they'll be mercilessly ridiculed in front of millions? The answer: pure comedic gold. Celebrity roasts and pranks have long been a staple of entertainment, giving fans unfiltered, no-holds-barred humor that leaves the audience in stitches. Some stars handle the heat with charm and wit, while others are visibly rattled by the brutal jokes and unexpected surprises. In this episode, we're diving into some of the most unforgettable celebrity roasts and pranks, from legendary comebacks to shockingly bold jokes that pushed the boundaries of humor. Whether it's Charlie Sheen's epic roasting, Robert Downey Jr.'s smooth clapback, or Justin Bieber's on-air prank meltdown, these moments are etched into pop culture history. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild, hilarious ride. Pamela Anderson. Roasted by Jimmy Kimmel, 2005. The 2005 Comedy Central roast of Pamela Anderson was a landmark moment for the franchise, catapulting the series into mainstream success. Known for its raunchy and no-holds-barred humor, the roast gathered a star-studded lineup, including Courtney Love, Hugh Hefner, Tommy Lee, and many more. Given Anderson's high-profile career and tumultuous relationships, there was no shortage of material for the comedians to work with. The jokes mostly centered on her Baywatch fame, plastic surgeries, and past relationships, particularly her infamous marriage to rocker Tommy Lee. The event was hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, who ensured that the tone was both irreverent and unpredictable. Some of the most memorable moments came from Jeff Ross and Greg Giraldo, both known for their savage roast performances. However, despite the comedic atmosphere, the event was not without controversy. One of the most uncomfortable moments of the evening came from comedian Andy Dick, who took the stage dressed as Anderson's plastic surgeon. His antics, which included groping Anderson, crossed a line for many viewers, making it one of the more unsettling moments in roast history. Additionally, jokes targeting Courtney Love's sobriety, despite her being clean for over a year, left some guests visibly uncomfortable. Despite these controversial moments, the roast remains one of the most iconic in the series. Pamela Anderson, known for her self-deprecating humor, took the jokes in stride and laughed along with the audience. She proved that she could handle the heat, cementing her reputation as one of the most entertaining roast subjects. Ultimately, this roast showcased both the best and worst of Comedy Central's signature style, balancing outrageous humor with moments that pushed the boundaries a little too far. Rob Lowe, roasted by David Spade, 2016. The Comedy Central roast of Rob Lowe in 2016 was a night filled with sharp-edged humor, brutal jabs, and unexpected twists. Lowe, known for his good looks and Hollywood charm, took every joke in stride, proving that he could laugh at himself. The event, hosted by David Spade, brought together an all-star lineup of comedians, including Pete Davidson, Jeff Ross, and Nikki Glazer, along with a few surprise guests. One of the biggest running themes of the night was Lowe's infamous sex tape scandal, which had followed him since the late 1980s. Comedians repeatedly made references to the controversy, often comparing it to today's internet-driven world. Jewel, a surprising addition to the panel, stole the show with a parody song, cleverly mocking Lowe's career while delivering some of the wittiest burns of the night. However, what truly made the evening stand out was the unexpected attention given to Ann Coulter, the conservative political commentator. Coulter had been invited as a guest roaster, but instead of delivering hard-hitting jokes, she became the unintended punching bag of the night. Comedians like Jimmy Carr, Nikki Glazer, and Pete Davidson took direct aim at her, often ignoring Lowe altogether. The relentless roasting of Coulter left her visibly uncomfortable, and many viewers felt that her presence overshadowed the event. Despite the awkwardness surrounding Coulter, Lowe embraced the night with class, laughing at the jokes and delivering a humorous closing speech. His ability to handle the jokes with charm and wit made this roast one of the most memorable in recent years. Joan Rivers, roasted by Kathy Griffin, 2009. The Comedy Central roast of Joan Rivers in 2009 was a historic moment in roast history, as Rivers herself was not just the honoree, but a participant who turned the tables on her roasters. Joan Rivers, a trailblazer in comedy, had spent decades shattering glass ceilings in the male-dominated world of stand-up. Known for her fearless wit, sharp tongue, and self-deprecating humor, she was more than ready to take the heat and dish it back. Hosted by Kathy Griffin, the event featured an impressive lineup of comedy heavyweights, including Greg Giraldo, Jeff Ross, Whitney Cummings, Gilbert Gottfried, and even Joan's own daughter, Melissa Rivers. The jokes ranged from her numerous plastic surgeries to her long career filled with highs and lows. Rivers, never one to shy away from poking fun at herself, sat gracefully as the insults rolled in. One of the most memorable moments of the night came when Joan Rivers playfully smacked Kathy Griffin's cheek and dropped the mic, proving that she wasn't just a bystander in the roast. She was an active participant. Throughout the event, Rivers laughed louder than anyone, showing that she could take a joke just as well as she could give one. Despite the brutal nature of the jokes, there was a deep respect for Rivers in the room. The comedians acknowledged her role as a pioneer in stand-up comedy, a woman who had paved the way for many of them. The roast ultimately became a celebration of her legacy, blending humor with heartfelt admiration. Joan Rivers emerged from the roast not just as the subject, but as the reigning queen of comedy, proving once again why she was one of the greatest to ever hold a microphone. Justin Bieber. Pranked on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show. Justin Bieber has built a reputation for being a mischievous prankster, but when he appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show to promote his Comedy Central roast for his 21st birthday, he found himself on the receiving end of an unexpected scare. During his interview, Ellen engaged in a casual conversation with Bieber about his upcoming roast, asking if he was nervous about comedians taking jabs at his past mistakes. Bieber, trying to play it cool, brushed it off with a nervous chuckle. But just as he was settling in, a prank unfolded that left him visibly shaken. A lookalike model suddenly burst out of a disguised box, dressed in boxer shorts, a blonde wig, and fake tattoos resembling Bieber's own. The moment the prankster jumped out, Bieber leaped out of his seat, recoiling in shock, exclaiming, "Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Don't do that to me." His genuine reaction had the entire audience in stitches, while Ellen could hardly contain her laughter. Bieber, still catching his breath, admitted that he wasn't expecting to be pranked on a talk show. Ellen, always one step ahead, revealed that the prank was her way of getting back at him, since she wasn't participating in the Comedy Central roast. It was a lighthearted and hilarious moment, showcasing Bieber's ability to laugh at himself, even when he was the one being pranked. Although Bieber had faced years of public scrutiny, this moment helped humanize him in the eyes of his fans. His willingness to be roasted, combined with this prank, showed that he was learning to embrace the humor in his past mistakes. Charlie Sheen, roasted by Seth MacFarlane, 2011. The Comedy Central roast of Charlie Sheen was one of the most anticipated in the network's history. At the time, Sheen was at the peak of his public meltdown, having been fired from 2.5 Men, and making headlines with his erratic behavior, outlandish interviews, and bizarre catchphrases like "winning." Given his reputation, it was a goldmine for comedians. Hosted by Seth MacFarlane, the roast featured Amy Schumer, Jeff Ross, Mike Tyson, Steve-O, and Kate Walsh, among others. With 6.4 million viewers, it became the most watched Comedy Central roast ever. The comedians did not hold back, delivering some of the most savage burns in roast history. Some of the most brutal jokes included Seth MacFarlane: "Honestly, Charlie, I never thought I'd live to see the night that you would live to see this night." Kate Walsh: "It's amazing. After years of destroying your lungs, kidneys, and liver, the only thing you've had removed is your children." Jeffrey Ross: "Instead of getting your life together, you went on a national comedy tour, where you walked out on stage every night and told the audience you were a warlock from Mars. Maybe you are, but you're not a comic from Earth." The event was both hilarious and uncomfortable, as it felt less like a roast and more like an intervention on national television. Sheen, however, took it all in stride, laughing at most of the jokes and even delivering a confident closing statement. Despite the relentless mockery, this roast helped reshape Sheen's public image, making him more of a lovable train wreck than a cautionary tale. James Franco, roasted by Seth Rogen, 2013. The Comedy Central roast of James Franco in 2013 was one of the most star-studded and self-aware roasts ever. The panel looked like a reunion of Franco's Hollywood friends, including Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Bill Hader, Aziz Ansari, and Andy Samberg. Franco, known for his artsy persona and too cool for Hollywood attitude, was an easy target. Many of the jokes revolved around his pretentiousness, his often indecipherable acting choices, and his infamous Oscars hosting disaster in 2011. One of the standout moments was Bill Hader's appearance as the President of Hollywood, a hilariously exaggerated character who poked fun at Franco's seemingly random career choices. Meanwhile, Andy Samberg stole the show by using the Norm Macdonald approach, delivering corny, old-school roast jokes that confused the audience at first but eventually had them roaring with laughter. While many roasts rely on crude humor, Franco's roast had a more playful and lighthearted tone, making it stand out from others. His willingness to laugh at himself and embrace the absurdity of his career made the event truly enjoyable. In the end, Franco proved he was in on the joke, and this roast further solidified his reputation as an unpredictable yet beloved Hollywood figure. Robert Downey Jr., Golden Globe Comeback, 2011. At the 68th Golden Globe Awards, Robert Downey Jr. proved why he's one of Hollywood's most charismatic stars. Host Ricky Gervais, known for his brutal humor, poked fun at Downey's past struggles with addiction and rehab stints. Rather than taking offense, Downey responded with his signature charm and quick wit, delivering a perfect comeback that had the audience in stitches, further proving that Iron Man is unshakable. Hugh Hefner, roasted by Jimmy Kimmel, 2001. The New York Friars Club roast of Hugh Hefner in 2001 was a night of iconic, unfiltered comedy that pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable on stage. The Playboy founder, known for his larger-than-life persona, lavish lifestyle, and legendary parties, was the perfect subject for a roast that promised to be as outrageous as the man himself. Hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, the event featured a lineup of legendary comedians, including Jeff Ross, Gilbert Gottfried, and Sarah Silverman. The night's jokes centered around Hefner's advanced age, his revolving door of young girlfriends, and his Playboy empire. Hefner, ever the cool and composed figure, took it all in stride, proving that he could laugh at himself just as much as the audience did. However, one moment stood out as particularly controversial: Gilbert Gottfried's now infamous 9/11's joke. Taking place just weeks after the tragic September 11 attacks, Gottfried made a remark about having a hard time getting a direct flight to New York, adding, "I had to make a stop at the Empire State Building." The joke was met with boos and audible gasps from the audience, a rare and uncomfortable moment in roast history. Realizing the backlash, Gottfried swiftly pivoted and launched into a legendary rendition of the aristocrat's joke, an over-the-top, intentionally offensive joke that has been a staple among comedians for decades. This bold move completely turned the crowd around, with many in the audience laughing uncontrollably by the time he finished. Although Comedy Central edited out the 9/11's joke when they aired the roast, the incident became a defining moment in roast history. Gottfried later reflected on the moment, noting that it was a turning point for him as a comedian, as he had to win back a room that had completely turned against him. Despite the controversy, the Hefner roast remains one of the most iconic in Friars Club history, showcasing the sharp humor, unfiltered style, and risk-taking nature that make these events so memorable. Alec Baldwin, roasted by Sean Hayes, 2019. The 2019 Comedy Central roast of Alec Baldwin was packed with sharp-witted insults and iconic roasters, including Robert De Niro, Jeff Ross, Caitlyn Jenner, and Blake Griffin. Hosted by Sean Hayes, the roast focused heavily on Baldwin's fiery temper, his infamous parking lot altercations, and his career ups and downs. One of the most talked about moments of the night came from Blake Griffin, who took a savage jab at Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn, I want to thank you for proving that nobody in your family is actually good at sports. Baldwin himself handled the jokes with his signature smirk, proving that even a seasoned Hollywood heavyweight could take the heat. Will Smith, roasted by Chris Rock, Oscars 2022, sort of. One of the most unexpected roast moments in Hollywood history wasn't part of a planned event, but rather an impromptu moment at the 94th Academy Awards in 2022. When comedian Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, referencing G.I. Jane, it triggered an infamous live TV moment. Instead of a witty clapback, Will Smith stormed the stage and slapped Rock across the face, yelling, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Asterisk. The incident immediately went viral, overshadowing the rest of the night. It also became an instant meme, with comedians and fans debating whether it was the most shocking or bizarre roast moment of all time. Shaquille O'Neal, roasted by Kevin Hart, 2019 NBA Awards. Shaquille O'Neal has been the subject of countless jokes due to his massive height, deep voice, and sometimes awkward commentary, but one of the best moments came at the 2019 NBA Awards when Kevin Hart delivered a savage roast. Hart, standing at just 5'2", played on the ridiculous size difference, saying, "Shaq, I just want to thank you for being here tonight. I know it must be hard getting through doorways, sitting in chairs, and wiping your own ass." Shaq laughed uncontrollably, showing why he's one of the most beloved sports figures who can take a joke. Kanye West, pranked by Ashton Kutcher on Punk'd. Back in the early 2000s, Ashton Kutcher's MTV show Punk'd was the king of celebrity pranks, but one of the most legendary pranks involved Kanye West. In the elaborate setup, Kanye was tricked into believing that a music video shoot he was working on was being shut down by fake security officers, who then attempted to confiscate the footage. True to his reputation, Kanye absolutely lost it, snatching the tape from the officials and sprinting away, refusing to give up his footage. His reaction was so intense that even the Punk'd crew was unsure if he would ever calm down. When Ashton Kutcher finally revealed the prank, Kanye laughed, though it was clear he was still rattled. Leonardo DiCaprio, pranked by Jonah Hill, 2016. Jonah Hill pulled off one of the best public pranks when he surprised Leonardo DiCaprio in the streets of New York City. DiCaprio was walking casually when Hill, disguising himself as a crazed fan, suddenly rushed toward him with his phone out, pretending to take aggressive paparazzi-style photos. DiCaprio, startled, stepped back in defense before realizing it was just Hill messing with him. The two burst into laughter, proving that even an A-lister like Leo isn't immune to a classic prank. Ryan Reynolds, roasted by Hugh Jackman on social media. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have one of the funniest celebrity rivalries of all time, with years of hilarious roasts exchanged over social media. One of the best moments came when Jackman pretended to film a heartfelt birthday tribute for Reynolds, but instead called him a blithering idiot, and told fans that supporting his Deadpool movies was a huge mistake. In true Reynolds fashion, he fired back by releasing a parody ad for Jackman's coffee company, hilariously exaggerating Jackman's flaws while pretending to be a supportive friend. Ellen DeGeneres pranks Taylor Swift multiple times. Ellen DeGeneres has a history of pranking celebrities on her talk show, but one of her favorite victims is Taylor Swift. One of the most memorable pranks happened when Ellen made Taylor believe she was alone backstage, only for a man in a giant squirrel costume to jump out from behind a door. Taylor screamed at the top of her lungs, falling backward in pure shock. The prank was so extreme that she immediately ran off stage, trying to catch her breath. Swift later admitted that she genuinely feared for her life, making this one of the funniest and most over-the-top celebrity prank moments. Matt Damon, the ultimate feud with Jimmy Kimmel. For over a decade, Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon have kept audiences entertained with their long-running fake feud, creating some of the funniest roast moments in late-night TV history. The playful rivalry began when Kimmel started ending his show with the joke, "Apologies to Matt Damon, we ran out of time," pretending to bump the actor from the lineup. This ongoing gag escalated into a series of hilarious pranks, public insults, and staged confrontations that fans eagerly anticipate. One of the most memorable moments occurred when Damon took revenge by hijacking Jimmy Kimmel live. He tied Kimmel to a chair, took over as host, and invited A-list guests, flipping the script in a way that had the audience in stitches. Their back-and-forth jabs have led to some of Hollywood's most iconic comedy moments, including a star-studded music video, "I'm F********** ing Matt Damon," featuring Kimmel's then-girlfriend Sarah Silverman, and Kimmel's equally outrageous response video. Whether it's a surprise appearance at the Oscars or a staged backstage brawl, their mock rivalry remains one of the best-running jokes in showbiz. It's all in good fun, and despite their on-screen antics, the two remain great friends behind the scenes. Bill Hader's epic roast of Justin Bieber, SNL, 2013. During Justin Bieber's controversial teenage years, Bill Hader took the opportunity to roast him on Saturday Night Live. Dressed as an old, washed-up version of Bieber from the future, Hader hilariously mocked the singer's scandals, bad tattoos, and public meltdowns. The bit ended with Hader saying, "And now, in the year 2043, I am legally required to stay 100 feet away from Selena Gomez at all times." Even Bieber had to laugh at how brutal the jokes were. From brutally savage roasts to hilarious, jaw-dropping pranks, these moments have become an unforgettable part of pop culture. Some stars walked away unscathed, embracing the humor, while others struggled to handle the heat. But one thing's for sure, celebrity roasts and pranks never fail to entertain. If you love this dive into Hollywood's funniest moments, don't forget to like this video to support more epic content. Comment below which roast was your favorite. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay tuned, because there's always more Hollywood madness to uncover. And we're just getting started. See you in the next episode.